In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get a credit card without using your social security number. In fact, everything that I'm about to share with you, you can get multiple lines of credit without having negative effects on your credit score. So if you want to get more access to credit, make sure you watch the rest of this video. What's up, winners? My name is Nam. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. Here we talk all about personal finance. So start by subscribing so you don't miss out on any future videos. Even though I live in the United States, I have a social security number and a viable source of income, but I do also get turned down from credit cards as well. Whether you're someone like me or just someone who has bad credit and is just working towards improving their credit, this will be a great strategy for you. One of the many possible ways of getting denied for a credit card is by having too many hard pulls in a short period of time. Another reason is due to the credit card issuer. For instance, if you bank with Chase, you can only open 5 Chase credit cards within a 24-month rolling period. If you already opened 5 Chase cards within 24 months, then you will automatically get denied for another Chase credit card. But just keep in mind that this only mainly applies to personal credit cards. Chase business credit cards, they play by different rules. But another way is that when you have too many hard pulls in a short period of time, most of the time, lender will see you as a higher risk and they may deny your application. So before I start talking about the steps, you still will need to have a social security number. Because some of the strategies that I will share with you probably won't work if you have an ITIN or if you do not reside inside of the United States. But if you are one of these people, don't worry, I do have some methods that you can still use towards the end of this video. So the core concept of this video is to get access to credit without actually getting your credit pulled, resulting in a hard inquiry. So let's kick it off with step number 1. It is to opt in for pre-approvals. If you ever receive any emails or letters in the mail concerning that you've been pre-approved for a particular credit card, this is basically the same concept. Whenever credit card companies give you a pre-approval offer, all they do is just do a soft inquiry. So when this happens, this does not affect your credit score by any means. All they do is look at your public records to see how risky you are as a borrower so they can send you a line of credit. The things that could be on your public record, it could be any type of judgments, liens, place of employment, utility bills, and any other identifiers that allow the companies to guess how's your financial standing. But the majority of times when you do get pre-approval offers for credit cards, once you actually apply for the credit card, that's when they will have to run your credit report, and this will result in a hard pull. And once a hard pull does happen, this will have a negative effect on your credit score, so your credit score will drop a few points and it will stay on your credit report for at least 24 months. So with that out of the way, now let's head over to optoutprescreen.com. Once you are on their website, you want to scroll to the very bottom where you can see a button to click here for opt-in or opt-out. Once you click on it, you will have to provide basic information. This will be personal information like your first and last name, your address, and also your social security number. Even though you have to enter your social security number, don't be alarmed because this will not result in a hard inquiry. If you guys ever signed up for credit score tracking apps such as Credit Karma, they basically do the exact same thing. They do require you to have your social security number and do a soft pull on your credit history. So you have to give this at least 5 days to about 2 weeks for it to actually work. And the only way that you know this actually works is when you start receiving promotional offers from credit card companies in the mail. Once you start receiving these promotional offers in the mail, you know for sure that credit card companies have access to your personal information. So you can go ahead with the next step. One thing that you may be asking is, what if I'm already receiving promotional offers from credit card companies right now? If you already are receiving promotional offers, this does not automatically mean that your credit information is available to other credit card companies. I usually get promotional offers from companies that I've already applied for and got denied in the past, or it's just somebody that I already bank with. So the safe bet is just to opt in, and once you get enough credit cards, then you can just opt out. Because it's gonna be pretty wasteful to get a bunch of mail that you know that you're not gonna be interested in. So this will be your next step. Research stores that you shop at, and if they have retail credit cards issued by Comenity Bank. There are other banks such as Synchrony and Wells Fargo's where this strategy would work as well, but there are so many few of them that I'm not gonna go into detail about. So I'm just gonna name a few on the list. This will include Abercrombie & Fitch, Barney's New York, Bed Bath & Beyond, Victoria's Secret, and Overstock. There are literally hundreds of companies that have retail store cards with this credit card issuer. Before I move on, I must point this out. Retail credit cards are usually not the best type of credit cards, just due to the fact that your bonus and the amount of cash back that you can receive is really not all that special. But if you do shop there somewhat frequently, then it would just make sense just to get a retail card. Depending on how your personal information looks, you can get lines of credit anywhere from a couple of $100s to a few $1,000s depending on the retail store. But one of the downsides about this particular strategy is that you're only stuck at being able to shop at this particular store. Because with most retail cards, you really can't shop at any other retailers. Alright, so now you figured out where you shop at the most, or whichever stores are local to you that banks with Comenity Bank. Now let's actually sign up for the card. Before we start, just make sure that you clear your cookies and your cache and use an incognito browser. You could either use Firefox, Chrome, Safari, or pretty much any other browser. They usually have a private or an incognito mode where it does not track your history or other data. Also, if you have a pop-up blocker, sometimes these will also apply to browsers in incognito mode, so just make sure that you turn this off as well. So now let's go on to the website of the store that you'll want to get a card for. So in this example, I'll just use Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret is probably one of the most lenient at offering credit cards because there's been many people who have success with them. So what you gotta do now is shop and add things to your shopping cart as you normally would. Some say that you have to have a cart balance of at least $100, but that's not always the case. So it would be best just to shop as you normally would and not add extra stuff to your cart just to reach that extra $100. Once you check out, make sure you check out as a guest. This is very important. Now you would enter all of your personal information, including your name, your address, pretty much everything exactly that you reported into the opt-in form that I mentioned earlier. Now just continue through the whole checkout process until you get to the final payment page. Right before you plug in your credit card information and place your order, you should receive a pop-up of a credit card offer. If you did not receive this promotion offer, then it's very possible that this trick does not work anymore. But you can try again on a different browser or just delete all of your cookies and cache once again. If this offer does pop up, start plugging in your information, but only complete the application only if it asks for your last four. Again, this is also key. If it asks for your full social, go ahead and deny the application and just cancel everything. If you have to plug in your full social security number, this means that they will have to run a full credit report, and in turn, this will result in a hard inquiry. There has also been many cases where you can get a higher credit limit if you have more in your shopping cart, but usually this is in the thousands. But again, I'm not advising you to rack up credit card debt just because you have access to a new credit line. You still have to act responsibly and make sure that you pay your balances in full every single month. So once you do get approved for a store credit card, all you would have to do is just check out as you normally would. You would later get a bill electronically or in the mail. One thing to keep in mind, since credit limits on these type of cards are pretty low, over time you can request for an increase. They usually do give automatic credit limit increases if you put a decent amount on these cards. So one of the big reasons on why you should open up one of these type of cards is that it helps you build credit when your credit is bad. The key reason is that they don't have to do a hard pull on your credit report, so they're not able to see any bankruptcies, any derogatory items, such as late payments. Once you do get approved for these type of cards, in turn, this will help your credit score as long as you are responsible with them. Another good thing about retail cards is that you do get bonuses when you open the card. You may get a certain percentage off your purchase, or you may get bonuses here and there. So now let's talk about the second way of how you can get a credit card without using your social security number. Open up a business credit card. So before I go off on this one, this will only work if you already have a business credit card or some sort of business credit already. If you have no business credit cards or business credit history at all, whenever you open up a business credit card, more likely than not, they will run your own personal credit history, thus they will require your social security number. So let me give you an example. The first business credit card I ever had was a Chase Inc. business cash card. When I opened this card, my social security number was attached to it. But once I decided to start a new business, this time around, I had an EIN number. All this is an employer identification number that is mainly used by the IRS for tax purposes. So I decided to open up a new Chase business credit card, but instead of using my social security number, I used my EIN number. This way, I was able to get a secondary line of credit, and I was also eligible for the $500 sign-up bonus again. Whenever you sign up for a credit card with your EIN number, your personal credit history won't get ran, so in turn, this won't have any negative effects on your credit score. But just keep in mind that if you're not responsible with your business credit card, you can still have negative implications to your own personal credit. So anytime that you want to start a new business, you can always have a separate credit card for that business. So now let's talk about another way that you can get a credit card without using your social security number. Some credit card issuers will allow you to get a credit card with just a passport. Two of the most common companies that allow this will be American Express and Bank of America. So for this particular strategy to work, it will be much easier if you are a student or you have built credit in your home country. So for instance, if you are studying abroad here in the United States, if you have an I-10, this will make it much easier for you to apply for a credit card. But if you do not have an I-10 and you are a student, a good option for you is to apply for the Deserve EDU MasterCard. With this credit card, instead of having your social security number on the application, you would have to just enter information about where you're going to school, what you're studying, answer financial information such as how you're paying for school and your living expenses. The great thing about this card is that it's not a secure card, meaning that you do not need to have a secure deposit, and there's no annual fees. You also get 1% cash back on all purchases as well. But if you have built any other sort of credit in other countries such as Canada, Mexico, or the UK, you can apply for the American Express Cash Preferred Card. So instead of entering your social security number, it will ask for further steps to check your credit in these countries. So for this to actually work, you gotta have a passport and you need to have some proof of income. Without either of any of these, your chances are very slim. So now let's talk about the fourth way of how you can get a credit card without using a social security number. Get added on as an authorized user. So with this strategy, you technically do not have your own personal line of credit because you're basically sharing your credit line with someone else, but it does give you access to credit. But for this way to work, you're gonna need to get added on as an authorized user from a company that does not need your social security number. So some companies that don't require the authorized user to use a social is Chase and Wells Fargo. But the thing is, if you do provide a social security number, this will not have any negative effects on your credit score. It will only help if the primary has a great credit score. Because when it comes down to it, the primary account holder is responsible for the debt that's on the account. If you are a person with no credit or bad credit, this is actually one of the best ways to generate a credit score as fast as possible. I have mentioned this in multiple videos before, so go check them out after this one. But the key thing about being an authorized user is to not be a jerk and run up a bunch of credit card debt and not paying back the primary for the money that you spent. The main downside with this method is that it's not your personal line of credit. Alright guys, if you haven't already, make sure you give this video a like because that really helps support the channel. And if you want to learn more about building your credit score, check out my next videos.